So there's a pretty good chance that I'm an idiot, but hey, at least I'm self-aware, right? Like many D2 players out there, I spent a fair amount of my time over the weekend chasing after this. The Adept Astral Horizon. But the more I think about it, why did I do this? Reflecting on it a tad more, I feel like it's now been kind of a big waste of my time. I mean, there was a time way back when the Astral was one of my favorite shotguns in the game. Shotguns were stronger back then, and IMO the Astral was a top-tier kinetic spread shotty. When Bungie removed it from the Trials loot pool, I was annoyed, mainly because a lot of the other loot that got shuffled in I didn't really care about. So when it finally got brought back with an updated perk pool, I was hyped. Even did my first Trials Sherpa stream in at least well over a year, which was fun, by the way, might do more. But again, looking back on it, why should I really care when I can just use a crafted Imperial Decree? I'll talk in a minute about how this might be a bigger problem for D2 as a whole, but for right now, this one particular scenario. Most PvP mains I talk to are in agreement. The Astral Horizon role they're chasing for PvP is either Surplus or Threat Detector in column 3 and Opening Shot in column 4. Not to open a big can of worms, but there's also some debate about either Accurized or Assault in column 2, either a range or handling masterwork, and your preferred barrel. I feel like you could make a good case for a few barrels. IMO barrel pick isn't as important now as it was long ago, but whatever, doesn't matter. The point is that Imperial Decree, also an aggressive frame kinetic spread shotgun by the way, can roll both Threat Detector or Surplus in column 3 and Opening Shot in column 4. And of course, they both have access to Accurized and Assault mag and every regular shotgun barrel. The only big difference is Imperial Decree is 100% craftable and Astral Horizon requires you to farm trials. And between the meta being an unforgiving SMG show and the servers repeatedly crashing all weekend for whatever reason, the question I'm wondering now is why the hell would anyone bother with Astral when you can just craft a perfect decree with zero suffering? Now some people might be quick to point to the fact that because Horizon can be an Adept shotgun, it has access to Adept weapon mods. True. However, Adept weapon mods ain't always the play. Most PvP people I know, Adept shoddy or not, run either Sprint Grip or Quick Access Sling on their shotguns, which isn't to say that Adept weapon mods are bad, it really kinda depends on the weapon. But yeah, for a shotgun, Adept weapon mods don't matter to me as much, so yeah. And if you want to compare the final product to the final product, you get this. Here we have Imperial and Horizon with identical god rolls. Not saying that this is the end-all be-all roll, by the way, but yeah, these stats are so close to one another. Why bother putting yourself through hell at all when it's this close? And also, even with identical rolls, Imperial comes out the other side with slightly higher range, handling, and aim assist. Jeez. The only argument I could ever really come up with for getting the Horizon over the Imperial is A, so you can brag that you have god tier RNG, or B, if you wanted to use either Adept range or Adept handling to push your base stats over the Decree. But again, I'm probably just gonna go Imperial Decree with Quick Access Sling and pop off just as hard in PvP as I would with a 5 out of 5 Horizon. And to beat a dead horse just a little bit harder, could it be any easier to complete your Imperial Decree weapon pattern? All you gotta do is get a bunch of Defiant engrams, which not difficult to do by the way, I'm tripping over them at this point. Go to the helm, hit up the Defiant engram decoding at the war table, and pop open a bunch of recovered Leviathan weapons. There's only 2 types of weapon you can get out of that by the way, a sword or an Imperial Decree shotgun, and if you get a shotgun, I think the odds are like 1 in 5 that the shotgun that drops will be a deep sight. And that kind of begs a question I'm not sure I want the answer to. Are we reaching a point where the ability to craft weapons is potentially hurting the game and the grind? And if it is, should we care? I mean, thinking about it, a little bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it? On one hand, the fact that I can just craft a godly shotgun is great. There is no worse feeling than spending hours grinding some activity in a game and having nothing good to show for it because you simply got dicked down by bad RNG. But on the other hand, if more and more craftable weapons are just straight up better, or at the very least near identical to endgame level PvP loot, why would we go into trials at all? For the pure joy of getting bent over by the 900th Peacekeeper Striker Titan that weekend? Either way, I don't envy Bungie because it's a tough situation, and with craftable weapons seemingly not going anywhere, it may be a trickier tightrope to balance as we get deeper into the lifespan of D2. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, but yeah, TLDR, if you didn't play any trials last weekend, literally lose no sleep. Go craft an Imperial Decree right now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on stream.